Welcome back, everybody. So my next movie review for you is Robocop 3. As I did Robocop 2 the other day, I only found it fitting to do the third installment in this trilogy. So, Robocop 3 movie review. What do I think about this movie? Again, I do not hate this movie. It's not a good movie, but I do not hate this movie. So in this third installment, we get to see not the return of Peter Weller as Robocop, only Robert Burke. We also get to see the return of Nancy Allen as Officer Anne Lewis, plus many, many others who I really, really don't. Rip Thorne. Yeah, I know this is how much attention I really paid to this movie. Like I said, I can sit down and watch this movie just like I could with Robocop 2, but I'm not going to be in any rush to watch this movie. There are certain things I dislike about this. It's the recasting of Robocop. Now I get that probably Pete Weller never wanted to come back, but the casting of Robert Burke as Robocop, there's always a bad mark already, and that's not his fault as such. It's just that I'm just used to Pete Weller being Robocop. Certainly because of the way he moves, his voice, Pete Weller's voice, is just made to be Robocop. So when there's a change, it just becomes a bit of a shock, and his performance as Robocop just felt off compared to what I'm used to. But that is just literally because I'm so used to Peter Weller being Robocop. So when there's a change, and it's a noticeable change as well, it put a bit of a bad mark against this movie. The other bad mark I've got with this movie is the fact that they killed off Officer Anne Lewis. Yes, I know they did this for a storyline, but she is such a key character in the Robocop movies, to be fair. And she's probably the one character whose performance has not changed throughout those whole three movies. In the first one, in the second one, and the third one, she's always been the same. And that's what generally I love about it. But I get what they were trying to do, so they could try and make this kind of revenge mission for Robocop, and it's kind of a throwback to the first movie in a certain respect as well. Not in all ways, but it's kind of a bit of a throwback. You know, obviously Alex Murphy got shot to death, and then he come back, but she's not going to get that opportunity. And she just, it's that revenge mission. I get it, and it worked, but it would have worked a lot better if Peter Weller was in that suit. Let me put it like that, because their chemistry in the first two movies is something that couldn't be replaced with somebody else in that suit, in my personal, and this is my own personal opinion, because I generally think that they could have, the whole premise and the whole feel of this movie would have changed or been a lot different if Peter Weller was in that suit. The storyline is a little bit predictable. There's not a huge amount of thought gone into this. There is, like I said, essentially just a revenge mission with a few subplots going on. In other words, they're clearing out of Detroit so they can build this new Detroit, and they've got this big OCP kind of assault team run by a guy called Taggart, who's the main bad guy or villain in this. And to be fair, okay, yeah, you get that sense that he's kind of evil and he won't stop at anything. If anybody gets in his way, he'll kill them. You get that, which is a good villain, but for some reason he's not that scary. You know, he is in certain places, but in other places he's not, and it's just like some of it's just a little bit cringeworthy coming from him. And again, it's not really his fault. It's the dialogue and the script that he's given, but it's just, well, actually, in a way it can be him because it's the way it can be delivered as well at the same time. That's kind of like another bugbear for me. And other bugbears is the fact that those android robots at the end that are taking on Robocop, realistically, Robocop could destroy them just like that. He took on a whacking great big, double the size robot that was bigger than him in Robocop 2, but two androids. I know, yeah, okay, they're a little bit faster, whatever. But Robocop's quite robust. It took a pneumatic drill to basically drill his leg off in the second one, and he got hit with an end of a sword, and he was on the floor. I mean, come on, here we go. There's this little bit of realisticness that needs to come in here. This Robocop probably weighs in at about a ton and a half, you know, and he's got those kind of spikes which gets. Or did that come in the series? I reckon that was in the series, wasn't it? I reckon it could be in the series, but you know, there was like that kind of really realism in here. But yeah, I know it's set in the future and all that kind of stuff. But the things I did enjoy in this is the return of the original soundtrack, which you probably knew was coming, especially from my last review. The arm attachment, where you can detach his arm, where he's got a bit more firepower. I actually generally like that. I admit I love his gun. you know, I would like to have seen more of his gun instead of the armor attachment, but I did generally like that kind of thing. Other things I like in this, I do kind of like the storyline. To be fair, I do like that kind of revenge mission and all that, and you know, it's just I just feel it was better if it was Peter Weller playing the character. Um, Other things in this that I like. There are a few good scenes in there to do with Robocop, to be fair, where you knew he was on a bit of a mission. I have to admit, but you know, some of the action sequences in there were actually okay. You know, you get to see a bit, you get to see quite a fair bit of Robocop in this. There's not a huge amount of slow moments in this. It's paced, reasonably paced. You've got a few slower moments, but a lot of it is reasonably decently paced. I said, have I mentioned the soundtrack music? Yeah, I think I mentioned that. Generally, as a whole, though, the performances in this are not the best. The best performance out of this, and she's not in it for that long anyway, is Officer Anne Lewis, because I love her character anyway, and the fact that she hasn't changed her character in any. She's still got that fiery kind of lip to her, which I actually really enjoy. But the rest of the performances are okay. It just felt like some of them were like, oh, this Robocop movie, gonna get a paycheck in it. I don't really want to do it, but you know, whatever. You know, that's how it kind of felt. And, you know, that is about as far as I can go with this movie. I can sit down and watch this movie, but I would never be in a rush to go and watch this movie. So if I was to rate this, I can't remember what I gave Robocop 2, and I'm not a huge fan of Robocop 2. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it, this is difficult. I'll give it between 4 and 5 out of 10. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because one of the original soundtrack musics, I like what they were trying to do with the storyline, but I believe they could have delivered this better if Peter Weller was in the suit. Now, I don't actually know the reasons why he didn't play Robocop in the third one, but and I kind of get what they were trying to do. The one thing I did dislike is the jetpack scenes. For some reason, I really didn't like that. For some reason, I don't know why. I just didn't enjoy that as such. But it honestly, that's probably the best rating I can give it. Is like 4 to 5 out of 10. I don't hate it, but I can still sit down there and watch it. I wouldn't call it diabolical. It's borderline, but not diabolical. But excuse me, but just lacked something for me. So, on that note, please tell me what you think. Put it in the comments down below as normal. I hope you all have a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care and goodbye.